Oh my god. I can't believe I just saw a ghost. Okay. Oh, hey guys, this is P.M.R.Bonez88. And today for my next summer horror movie review that I'll be talking about today is the 1984 classic and the original Ghostbusters, which stars Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, Sigourney Weaver, and Rick Moranis. Ghostbusters is a sci-fi / horror / comedy film, and it came out in the early of June of 1984, which was also produced and directed by none other than Ivan Reitman. Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis started writing a storyline and doing a storyboard, and originally the title was going to be called Ghost Smashers, and it would star Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi. It would have been taking place for the two characters going into the future and to hunt and capture ghosts. The costume would be a little different, well, kind of similar, but the only difference is that they won't be using proton packs, they will be using wands instead. But since Ivan Reitman took over the project and started to make some changes in this film, and unfortunately, sadly, that John Belushi passed away during the film production, so they had to find other actors that could play the character. So Bill Murray was selected to play none other than as the mouth and the wisecracking Peter Venkman. Dan Aykroyd played as Ray Stantz, and his character was very bright and he was really into the ghosts and the supernatural that was happening. And Harold Ramis played as Egon, the brains of the team. Sigourney Weaver was already the Scream Queen ever since the 1979 classic Alien. She played as Peter Venkman's love interest, Dana. And the character of Lou, that originally John Candy wanted to play the character, and he was already in the storyboard, but since he turned that project down, so Rick Moranis to play as the little scrawny Dana's next door neighbor, Lou. In the box office, Ghostbusters hit up to the gross of $13.6 million on its opening weekend, but as it went up to about 29.2 at the box office, but it was in second place because Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom was in number 1 in the box office. When I first saw Ghostbusters, I was only about 5 or 6, maybe 4, I don't remember. I used to watch them when I was a kid. Some of the ghosts really scare me, including those ghost dogs that just like pop out, or they do so close it really scared the shit out of me. I found the VHS tape of Ghostbusters, and I kept this VHS for so long. I'm not going to sell it, I'm not going to get rid of it, so I'd rather keep it as a childhood memory. I can't find the DVD for some reason. It's hiding somewhere in my room, somewhere in my DVD stash. But this should be good for just my collection for now. But Ghostbusters was my classic childhood favorite movie. I just love it that they combine it between of comedy / horror and probably a bit of sci-fi in it. But it was more likely of a horror comedy film. And it was all thanks to Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, may he rest in peace, and Ernie Hudson. Which he was also in Hudson Valley Comic Con, but I missed him. I missed seeing Ernie Hudson at Hudson Valley Comic Con. He must have left so early, and I got there, me and my friend, we got there about somewhere almost at 1 or 2-ish in the afternoon. We sort of missed him, but we saw the Edo car, and I didn't get a chance to take a picture. If I did, shit, I shouldn't have done this, but maybe next time, right? So the movie is about with 3 scientists, Venkman, Ray, and Egon. They go search for a ghost that scared the shit out of the librarian. So as they went to the library, they found the ghost, and Ray had an idea of trying to capture this ghost. He yelled at it and saying, "Get her!" and the ghost just transformed into this hideous ghost form and literally scared them. They lost their jobs at the university, so they decided to, you know what? To make their own company, to like become as the Ghostbusters. Their origins were very interesting, but they didn't really explain too much of how they made the proton packs, how did they get the jumpsuit, and how were they able to manage to make the logo. The only few things they did get were just the title, like their name of their company, and getting that car. Their first customer was Dana, that she saw a ghost in the refrigerator and yelled out "Zool." So Peter decided to investigate her apartment, and he wasn't really taking his job real seriously, and all he ever found was just a couple of foods, vegetables, celery, wherever it was in the fridge, but no sign of a ghost. But more likely, Venkman's character, all he was really doing was just wooing at Dana and doesn't really concentrate on his job. But when things get really serious or in a dangerous situation, at that point he gets really serious. And then later on, they got their first call. It was up in the hotel restaurant, and when they found the ghost named Slimer. Originally his name was the Onion Head, because according to what Aykroyd just said, that he was the ghost of John Belushi because he eats all the time. I could definitely see the resemblance between Slimer and Belushi. So as they continue on trying to capture their first ghost, Venkman got slimed by Slimer. They finally capture him. All of a sudden the Ghostbusters became not just like company, they became like big celebrities. They were all over on the TV, all over in the news, all over in the magazines, newspapers. They started to become very popular. Unfortunately with the governor, including with Walter Peck, that he wants to prove that the Ghostbusters were complete frauds, and he wanted to know about the downstairs machinery, which Peter Venkman refused to let him look at it and said no to him. But he did come back with the cops and electrician guy to shut off the machine, which bring all the ghosts back and out of the traps. So now the Ghostbusters were being arrested and being blamed for the explosive, and while all the ghosts were on a rampage and taking over New York City, all hell was broken loose. The visual effects were very good and very well done. The only thing that really disappointed me with the stop motion scene with the demonic ghost, where he just pops out of the closet and goes after Lewis. How the way the demonic dog ghost just pop out, it looked like it was unfinished. It wasn't really done, and it wasn't really blending in with the environment that it was going through. The only thing that just blended in was the darker environment, where you could tell that it was really completed and it was really blended in very well. And when it was just only a puppet, that looked very good. And my favorite was Slimer, because how Slimer was just moving around and how he makes all these weird face expressions. In the cartoon series, that he's always the likable character, he's funny, and sometimes he always slams at the Ghostbusters. But in this film, he was, how we say that Slimer was the bad guy, goes all nuts and crazy, and especially how he slimed at Peter Venkman.
He slimed me.
There are a few deleted scenes in this film that weren't in theaters or didn't make it. There was one deleted scene that was definitely worth to be in the movie, where Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd were playing as two city bums, and how Lewis just ran into them. They were doing all these weird funny voices as city bums, and really made me laugh. It almost reminds me of a Saturday Night Live show. You can definitely tell that they could have used that scene to make, you know, a Saturday Night Live joke show to it. But other deleted scenes, some were necessary and some were kind of unnecessary. The director, Ivan Reitman, did the voice of both Slimer and Zool, where Dana was possessed. I didn't really know that he did all these voices. And lastly, Ernie Hudson played as Winston, and he was also the fourth Ghostbusters, but almost to the last minute he joined up with the Ghostbusters. Kind of disappointed that he wasn't in the poster, because all we see were just the three: Murray, Ramis and Aykroyd. But since Ernie Hudson was the fourth Ghostbusters, I think you should guys just give him credit, because he did become the Ghostbuster anyways. The music of Ghostbuster was performed by Ray Parker Jr., and how it became such a classic and a cult pop music that I keep listening to that music over and over again. And even when I hear it on the radio station, I always listening to it all the time, and all I hear is, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. I even saw the music video of Ghostbuster, and it had all the Saturday Night Live actors and actresses, even with the cameo of Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, and Harold Ramis dancing with Ray Parker Jr. in the music video Ghostbusters. It was funny that they even did the exact same thing in the animated series. At the end of the credits, they did the same dance too. And speaking of the anime series, I used to watch that when I was a kid too, but the title, they only called it the Real Ghostbusters because in the anime cartoon and I think the original movie, they call it Ghostbusters, so they didn't want to get in trouble or get sued because they were going to be, or get confused by audience because they were going to be two different kind of Ghostbusters. So in the anime series, they call it the Real Ghostbusters. It's been a long time since I've seen the original cartoon show because I was only a kid and I only saw a couple of episodes. But you can find only 2 episodes that are on DVD that takes place after of the 1984 classic Ghostbusters, and I think it's before Ghostbusters 2 or after, I'm not too sure. I gotta see the anime series again, and I'm thinking of getting it on DVD. And almost to the end of the scene where the Ghostbuster finally face off is Gozer. Well, originally Gozer was going to be a businessman, just, you know, disguising as a businessman, and they're going to face him off instead of a girl. But according to what Egon said, that whatever it wants to be, either it could be a businessman, it could be a girl, or it could be an animal, who knows, right? But we only see Gozer just only for a minute or two, and then up to the rest of the scene, that she was only just a voice in the clouds. And when the Ghostbuster now face off was their greatest enemy, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, how they made the design that made him look realistic, that he was a giant marshmallow man taking over the city. I didn't really find him too frightful. I find him like really joyful and really funny that the Ghostbuster had to face off the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Every time I always have a marshmallow, I always think of is the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. They sell different Ghostbuster products now. They brought them back. The High C Slimer Juice, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and Slimer Marshmallow version. I think I want to try the marshmallow first and let's see how they really taste like. And right at the end where they finally destroy Gozer's temple, and including the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, the whole explosion and with all the marshmallow coming down, and since the Marshmallow Man melted, and my favorite part, the most funniest scene ever, is where Pet got marshmallowed. That's all I have to say. That he got marshmallow and serves him right. That's what he gets for being a dick. So the Ghostbuster finally saved the city. They saved the girl and they saved Lewis. Right at the end, I think there was like a continuation that they were missing someone, and it was none other than Slimer. He kind of scared me at the end because how he was like coming towards the camera and you see his mouth. My heart was pounding, but I didn't cry. I was brave. I was really brave. Ghostbusters is a classic, the original, and the best movie ever. They did a follow-up of Ghostbusters 2. They lost the elements of the horror, they lost the elements of the comedy. It kind of didn't really have the same element as the first film had. It was almost just related to the cartoon version. But I'll be reviewing Ghostbusters 2 soon, just not right now. The visual effects were very good, the actors and actresses did a good job of playing their characters, and even the storyline of how they became the Ghostbusters and how they made all the tools and equipment, well, not really, but probably if they ever want to make an origin of Ghostbusters, they should talk about a little more of how they get the gadgets, but it's going to probably drag the whole movie and it won't be interesting for many audience. So now, with the reboot of Ghostbusters, and I already reviewed it, it's okay, but for older audience that we used to know, the Ghostbusters that we grew up, really disappointed audience and didn't really like the changes, including with now the women being as Ghostbusters instead of the men. I think 1984 Ghostbusters is a good movie to watch, and I think you should go for it for new generations. And those of you who never saw the original Ghostbusters, What are you waiting for? Watch it! So, just to rate this film, for the original Ghostbusters of 1984, I would have to give it a 9.6 out of 10, so the grade is an A+. A good horror comedy slash sci-fi movie. For Ghostbusters, it's good to watch and it's really funny and definitely enjoying with the cast members such as Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, Ernie Hudson. They're the 4 original and best Ghostbusters. And we will never forget Harold Ramis since he passed away, but we'll always remember him as Egon, the brains of the Ghostbusters team. And the visual effects were very well done and very well crisp, and how they make the ghosts like so real that imagining that if ghosts were real, they will be taking over the world. So if you believe in ghosts, who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters. And I had this movie on VHS, Blu-ray, and DVD. And this is P.M.R.Bonez88 signing off and saying is peace!
Let's say this Twinkie represents the normal amount of psychokinetic energy in the New York area. According to this morning's sample, it would be a Twinkie 35 feet long, weighing approximately 600 pounds.
That's a big Twinkie.
Hello? Yes, can you put me through the Ghostbusters? The original Ghostbusters. Venkman, Ray, Winston. Wait, they retired? When? What, a decade ago? 2 decades? Shit. Okay, so who are the new ones? They're all women? Alright, so when are they gonna come? How long? 20 minutes? Alright, I'll wait, but these ghosts are starting to really scare the shit out of me. Tell them to hurry up, okay? It's urgent. Bye. Minutes? Kidding me? I hope they come soon, because I cannot last for 20 minutes. Or maybe less.